Hello, I'm Coorain.
Hello, I'm Coorain.
Hi.
And I'm Coorain. Hi, welcome to Coloring Coorain. Now with 300% more cats. And Katya. Katya, do you mind introducing yourself? I'm a little busy right now.
My name is Ekaterina Petrovna Zamlochkova, but you can call me Katya. I am a Russian bisexual transvestite hooker, currently being featured on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7. You can find me usually in Chinatown, going through different piles of trash, but that's only from 1:45 to 2:50 p.m. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Most other times you can look at my website, welovekatya.com. You can find me on Twitter at Katya_Zamo, Z-A-M-O. Or you can like a toaster, how it has like two different slots in the brain. There are two different slots, and if you just stick your fingers into the second one, everything kind of like it opens up, and then I will be there.
How do you say Coorain in Russian?
Probably like shlucha. You say shlucha. It means slut.
Katya, how did you become the sweatiest woman in show business?
It's a medical condition called hyperhidrosis. It means like you are sweating too much. It's depending on where you are and what's happening, usually like really disgusting. People don't like, especially in the United States, people don't like to be fully conscious of your humanity. But I feel like this is something that is like really, it's like my calling card. It's like something that I'm very proud of because people can experience me on multiple levels. You know, you have the visual elements, you have the auditory element, and you also have this tactile, splashy, kind of really wet, palpable sense of my identity.
How many party hats do you own?
I don't go to parties because I believe that if you are comfortable with who you are, there is always a good, fun, happening party inside your brain. So in this sense, my cerebral cortex is kind of like the only party hat that I need.
What's your sign?
I'm Taurus. Sun sign is Taurus, but moon sign is Leo. In Russia, it's a little different because we have 11 time zones. So the astrology in Russia is kind of like a little bit cranked, you know, to the side. Typically, Taurus is stubborn, bullheaded, materialistic. They like textures and to stay at home. In Russia, it means we are like foolhardy, cowardly, suspicious, susceptible to the moon, and really like on board with certain schemes and scams and goings on that probably are not going to work out for us in the end.
What does it mean for you when Mercury is in retrograde?
When Mercury is in retrograde, this is like very small window of opportunity for me to experience and express the full depth and breadth of female orgasm.
What's the best thigh workout for 2015?
Okay, this is good. So when you are a woman, listen, women are complicated people. We have multiple points of view. We have many values, many dreams, many aspirations. Sexually satisfying a woman is not something that a man usually does very well. So if you are a woman and you are a sexual being, you will come into contact with many penises, which do not really bring you to where you want to go. The key is to, when a man enters your body through the vaginal opening, his penis usually not very big, not very satisfying, not very like, if your vagina is a welcome mat, his penis is like, it's like a dead cat that just plops down. Nobody thinks this is happy. So what you do when he is inside your vagina fully, you clamp and squeeze your thighs until he cries out for his mama or whoever. And this does two things. It will bring you closer to an orgasmic peak, and it also strengthens the adductors.
When can we expect your thigh gap scandal?
My thigh gap scandal is actually happening right now, so stay tuned for more behind the scenes footage from my thigh gap scandal.
Has the decline of locally owned independent sex shops in the Boston area affected you?
This is interesting because I love to go out into the world and sort of like leave little trail of sexual breadcrumbs. I would go to this place on Tremont Street, okay, and I would carry the little fortune cookies. I would flip them over and write on the back, little bit of sexual scenarios, you know, and I would go to the Tremont Street into the I forget what it's called. It's of course since closed down, and I would wear a nice little bikini with turtles on it, and I would just poop a little bit in the bikini bottom so that you could see a little bit of brown, and I would toss out these little fortune cookies to see if anyone would nibble, and usually there would be a small hairy bald man lurking, and he would pick up the cookie fortune and read the description and follow me back home, and we would have a very nice sort of divine kind of revelation of sexual experience. But since all the shops have now closed, this doesn't happen anymore.
When the Olympics come to Boston, who will you be rooting for?
If the Olympics come to Boston, I think this would be a terrible logistical nightmare for the city. However, of course, gymnastics-wise, I will always root for Russia. Always for Russia. Russians have style and skills. They are always the best in gymnastics, most other sports. But I would like to host my own little finish line for the race walk. You know, the one where they are shimmying. They're not running, they're not really walking, but it's like the long distance shimmy. And I would like to sit myself down at the finish line, spread my legs open very wide, have a couple of people yank them open a little bit more so that the tendons and the ligaments snap, and just present my opening to the shimmiers as a kind of welcome home. Welcome to my vagina.
I know you're a big gymnastics fan, so don't get mad at me, but honestly, what is the difference between gymnastics and dancing?
In gymnastics, there is always dance element. But if you are not lobotomized, you probably know that dancing does not really happen in gymnastics. When the gymnast dances, it's more like if you've ever been on a safari in Africa, when a gazelle is mauled by a lion and it sort of limps pathetically down the Serengeti. This is what it looks like when gymnast is dancing. They have to spend so much time being stretched and tumbled and thrown into the air that they don't actually have a lot of time to practice and master actual dancing. This is particularly true of the Americans. The Russians always make sure to incorporate some real authentic ballet training, but the Americans always look like I guess you could imagine if Sylvester Stallone was covered in like a canvas bag that was taped. Both his legs were taped together, and a couple of like Polish gypsies were blowing bubbles into his face, and he was being like really cute about it. Like, that's what American gymnast dancing looks like. Best Russian gymnast of all time, Svetlana Borisovna Horkina. She has lanky body like giraffe. You know, she's 5'4.5", I believe, which in gymnastics terms is like 7'3". She won every world and Olympic title on the uneven bars from 1995 to 2001. She is a woman in a sport of little girls. She has retired now, but she will always be ultimate diva bitch of women's artistic gymnastics. Plus, she also posed for Russian Playboy, and it was disgusting.
My boyfriend's gonna take a vacation to Russia. What should he do?
Well, I'll tell you what he should not do is act flamboyantly, because he will be murdered.
So for those of you just tuning in now, I have IBS, that's irritable bowel syndrome, and I am going to be getting a colonoscopy soon. What should I wear to get my colonoscopy?
Oh, yes. I would say something very like flowy, you know, something flowy, maybe a little fringy, something in like a peach color, something orangey maybe, something that says, I don't take myself too seriously, but I know how to have a good time.
Which US president would you like to get your portrait done with?
Wait, I would be portrait with him together? Probably George Washington. I would be in a painter suit, okay, with a roller clutch, like a roller, but as a clutch. And he would be like a mosaic of wooden teeth that you can just click, clack, click, click, clack on them. And when you clack hard enough, it says, Katinka, you did a good job today. You are a good woman, and everybody likes you. Clack, 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 clack. George Washington, clack. Good woman.
Which one would you like to sleep with?
Oh, Abraham Lincoln. There is a civil war happening all the time inside my vagina, and I believe he is the only one who would be able to pull it together.
Okay, so in case you haven't been outside, Boston is really ugly in the winter. But I try to work out. But how do you do that? Like, it's really hard to get to the gym in a blizzard. And like, what are you supposed to wear, like, in the cold? Because you're like also really sweaty. So it's like very confusing because it's like, oh, if you're sweating, you should take clothes off. But then it's like, actually, it's 13 degrees, so you like can't. So I'm really confused. Can you just like explain how to work out in the winter?
Well, I don't go to the gym in the winter. In fact, I never even actually go to the gym. If you want to know some fitness insider secrets, here it is. Okay. Your legs are very fat. They are like oatmeal. They are pasty and fat, and they look disgusting. So you take out everything that's in your freezer. You get a high chair, like a stool, and you stack many pillows on it. You rest your lower back on the stacked stool, and you put your legs in the freezer for 45 minutes. All the fat in the oatmeal sort of shrinks and squeezes and migrates back up into your sides, okay, and your thoracic spine, creating a nice, long, slender, shapely form in your legs.
So I've queued up a little bit of Tonya Harding's sex tape, and I was wondering if you could watch it and give us a review.
Oh. Okay. It looks like somebody skinned a porcupine, rolled up the skin, shellacked it, and is then fisting Shirley MacLaine with it. Pretty good. 4 out of 5 stars.
Which is your favorite Soviet space film? Which?
Probably, let's see. I really like Alyosha because he always shits, but it's always comes out in a really playful way. I also like Sveta because she is a little bit coy, always knows when to like say the right thing, and even though she's she's a corpse, but they jiggle her body in a way that makes it look like she's saying something.
How do you make money?
How do you say? My primary source of income used to be from prostitution, but I have there have been many blunders because once I invited a man up to my apartment. This is a true story, by the way. And I said, he was very ugly. You know, he was very ugly, and I was very naive. So I said, we will do oral sex to each other for $100 cash, American cash. And he said, okay. So I said, great. And we did it. I excused myself to the bathroom, and he stole money out of my own purse to pay me with. But these days, I like to sell different things on the street. I like, if you're looking around your house, you can do this as well. If you're looking around your house and say you have some wallpaper that's peeling off of the walls, you can scrape it off, put it in a plastic bag, and then take a nice lipstick and write a peace sign and a question mark. People will buy it. That's what I do, for the most part. Thank you.
Katya, thanks so much for coming on Coloring Coorain. I really appreciate the time and extra deodorant you put into being here today.